I'm Paul Moravec. On March 30th, Tom, a 23-year-old man from northern Wisconsin, went in for his yearly dental checkup. As far as he could tell, there was no real problem except maybe a few cavities, but the dentist always seemed to find that. The dentist began poking around at Tom's teeth and soon became more interested in Tom's lower lip and gums. The dentist noticed an unusual growth on Tom's lower lip and asked Tom if he was a usual smokeless tobacco user, and Tom answered yes. After a series of tests, Tom was diagnosed as having a deadly type of oral cancer. Just 1 week after Tom's dental checkup, he had surgery to remove the cancer. According to January 2000 issue of the Journal of the American Dental Association, a large portion of Tom's lower lip was removed and the area was drawn and stitched together. The surgery left Tom's disfigured and looking quite grotesque. But it was not the worst part. Tom died just 1 month later. Chewing tobacco caused Tom's death. And if you look right here, I have some pictures. Right here is just an ordinary can of snuff or skull, the culprit of all these problems. Over here on the top, your top right, is a mouth with gingivitis, which is actually the recession of the gums and the inflammation of the gums, and that's quite often with your users. Down here is much more serious. This is a man's mouth with a deadly type of cancer on his tongue, the white portion of it. Up the top, right here, this was a baseball player actually. His name was Bill Tuttle, and you can see him right here, and posing, batting, with a big wad of chew in his mouth. And to the right here is much more gruesome and sad, with his picture after diagnosed with cancer and going through surgeries and radiation. And down here is a man that goes on all around the United States teaching people, and young kids mainly, the using skull and what can happen. His lower jaw was pretty much all of it was removed from dipping. These are the pictures. Let's talk about what is smokeless tobacco. Chewing tobacco is made from twisted or shredded leaves from the tobacco plant. Chewing tobacco is usually treated with molasses and other flavors or additives. Users place a wad of tobacco in the mouth or the cheek, and they chew and suck out the chemicals of the nicotine. Snuff or dip is finely grounded tobacco in a coarse, moist mixture. Snuff is used in little pinches. Snuff is placed between the cheek and the gum. Both chewing tobacco and dip contain nicotine and other carcinogenic chemicals. Let's talk about what does smokeless tobacco do to the user. First of all, it increases the saliva production. The nicotine causes the user to become addicted. The smokeless tobacco causes a buzz and lightheadedness, which that's really the bottom line why they do this stuff in the first place, and also for being a stress reliever or relaxer for the user. The habit also dulls the senses, particularly in the mouth and the nose. There are numerous health risks involved with smokeless tobacco. Let's talk about some of them. Some less serious are bad breath, which happens to about 100% of the users. Tooth decay and gingivitis, which you saw in this picture here, which is the recession of the gums, like I said, and the inflammation of the gums, are all potential risk. Leukoplakia is an early sign of cancer, and that's basically your white blood cells are raised, which means there's an infection in your body and it's trying to fight it. Mouth and gum cancer are prevalent with tobacco users. 9,000 victims die each year from smokeless tobacco, or mouth cancer. Chances of cancer are increased 50 times by the user. Using smokeless tobacco poses a threat for the cardiovascular system as well, not only with just cancer. It causes increased blood pressure, increased heart rate, and sporadic heart rate. It also increases the level of certain fats in the blood, or cholesterols, which increase the risk of stroke and heart attack. This brings me to another point. Smokeless tobacco has many dangers, actually. Tooth decay and tooth loss. About half of all teenagers who use smokeless tobacco have gum problems. Occasional users have 4 times the risk of oral cancer than non-users. If you use it 3 or more times a week for a year, you are 50 times as likely to get oral cancer. That's more than just smoking. You must be aware of the terrible consequences of chewing tobacco, because next time it could happen to you or someone you care about. Let's look at what can be done to diminish the use of smokeless tobacco. In my opinion, I believe the legal age for dipping or using snuff should be raised. It's 19 here in Alabama. Some states it varies, but I believe it should be raised. The use of chewing tobacco at all sporting events should be banned. I know here, from my experience in college, they do ban it. A lot of people don't take heed of that, but it's kind of hard to get caught. I believe they should enforce it more. And I even know in the minors and the majors, they do have certain laws and you can get fined with it, but not many people take heed to that. So I think they already have it, but they should use it more often. In conclusion, I'm pleading with each of you to take some action against the use of chewing tobacco. I'm sure that you all agree that chewing tobacco is far too common and has multiple dangers and should be diminished. Remember Tom, the guy that I talked about earlier, the sad story? By adopting the measure I have discussed today, you can help stop what happened to Tom from happening to others or someone you love or care about, or even you. Thank you.